So don't be alarmed if they get a little shaken up if your slides are advancing and you're not quite ready. To build a super school, we must first imagine. And that's exactly what's happening right now in Kansas City. I'm Jamie Greason. I am the blended learning coach at Crossroads Academy, a K-8 charter school in downtown Kansas City. And so the XQ Institute issued a challenge to America. They said, let's rethink American schools. And so the likes of Lauren Powell-Jobs and Yo-Yo Ma and Jeffrey Canada are all behind this initiative. And the idea is, what they're describing XQ as, is this flexible and agile intelligence that helps students be successful in a rapidly changing future. And so, over the course of the last 5 months, some educators from Crossroads and some really amazing community members have come together, and we've been working towards dreaming up that next American high school model right here for Kansas City. And we're planning on opening this in 2018. And so you're probably asking, what does it take to plan a super school? So it takes a lot of what-if type questions, and I'm not sure this is advancing. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is really imagine what the future is going to be like, and then we have to think about the skills that students are going to need to be successful in that future, and then we have to create an environment that will help students, that will nurture those skills for students. And so the first thing we want to think about is space. So can we co-develop our space with another institution? Can we make our space completely flexible and mobile? Can we leverage our smart city capabilities for teaching and learning? Then the second thing we want to think about is time. How can we reimagine how we use time? Can students move through the core content, advance at their own pace through a peer competency-based model? Can they decide what the schedule of their day looks like? Can they say they want to learn what they want to learn when they want to learn it? The third thing is approach. Can we nurture and truly honor every student's identity and make that a priority? And the fourth thing we want to do is teacher training. We want to focus on reimagining that as well. So perhaps that looks like giving teachers an opportunity to have internships out in the field or the workplace, and maybe they can focus on trauma-sensitive training. Maybe that's something we want to provide for all of our teachers as well. So the future of education is looking bright in Kansas City, and we need lots of creative ideas as we start to synthesize a narrative for our new school. So whether you join our conversation or you just join this conversation around reimagining the educational narrative, we can use you, our community. The great news is that our initial proposal for the XP project was actually accepted, and we got to move on to the final phase. And if we continue to move forward, we might get an opportunity to get part of this $50 million pot and some expert support. Our next deadline is May 23rd, which is coming up in 6 days. But Kansas City is ripe for this opportunity. We're so excited to be bringing this to Kansas City, and regardless of how we do with XQ, this is happening in 2018. So we're really excited. So before I leave you, I wanted to introduce you to this really awesome kid. His name is Miles, and he's 3. And in this picture over here, thinking about the skills that he's going to need to be successful. So let's go to school for him. All right, got Sammy up next.
Didn't realize it was self-advanced, so Take Goes On Chattanooga. It's a digital equity education program in Chattanooga. Michael's not in here, but we did not steal it from Boston. We gave it to us, essentially. So in Chattanooga, I don't know if you know this or not, but we've got the gig. Gig city, gig tank, giggity, giggity, giggity. You can't get your paycheck, you can't pass a grade unless you told somebody about the gig today. So it's instilled in every Chattanooga. We talk about it all the time. But now there are some other things that are entering into our vocabulary, which is the digital divide. What's this homework gap? Talking about digital equity. So we may have this awesome internet available to our community, but availability and access doesn't always equate to equality or opportunity. And so, again, that goes home. We had a Chattanooga Forward committee that looked all over the nation for a program already in place. We didn't want to create something new. So we found Take Goes Home in Boston, and they graciously gave it to us and said, make it your own. So that's exactly what we've done. So Take Goes Home is a 15-hour digital literacy course. So they go through a 15 hours of training. They receive a $50 Chromebook if they choose to pay that at the end of the 15 hours. And we also try to introduce them to some low-cost internet plan during the 15-hour course. So we try to instill the value of the internet, the value of a device, and also the value of being connected. So Take Goes Home is a very simple program in concept, but it's extremely collaboration dependent. So if you don't have a collaborative community, it's not going to work. And so we have to partner with local sites throughout the community, whether it's a church, a nonprofit, a community center, a school, or even our libraries. We only have 2 people on staff, myself, our program director, Kevin McCarthy. So we simply cannot teach the entire city. So we rely on our partners to help us do that. So it's a train-the-trainer model. We actually train somebody at our partner locations, and they implement the program there on site. So we rely heavily upon our partners. So our participants are going through a program with familiar faces at familiar places. And so it's in a local church, it's in a local school, so they're familiar with the facility, they're familiar with the people that are implementing the program. And so what we do, we try to provide all the support, the curriculum, the marketing materials to help them implement the program there locally. We do have a curriculum buffet, we like to call it. We are very flexible in what each site gets to offer their participants. And these are some of the curriculum modules that we have on our website. And so in order to be flexible, we have to modify the program to where they have the freedom in an elementary school to teach one thing and yet at a career center teach something else. So I'm quickly going to brag before it switches. 70 courses at 42 sites over the past year, over 1,000 individuals, almost 700 families have gone through the program. And so we're seeing some success there in Chattanooga. We just did a follow-up survey last fall. We're about to do another 6-month survey and a 12-month survey. 91% have maintained internet access at home. 100% of them continue to use their device to go online. And then it switched and I didn't see what the last one was. So ages 3 to 84 are our participants. 16% over the age of 65. 75% are female, 76% are Black or Latino, and 90% of our participants earn less than $30,000 a year. So we're targeting specific communities or aspects of our community. So these populations are least likely to find value in technology, and we feel that it impacts those who arguably need it the most. And now that we've closed the digital divide in Chattanooga, sarcasm. On to the next evolutionary step, which is
I love that. All right, we have Daniel Green up next.
Thank you very much. Brought notes with me, so I'm kind of a shiny object guy, so I'm going to try and keep you in 5 minutes. So, my name is Daniel Green. I'm with the Immersive Education Initiative, and I want to talk about the Santa Fe Trail Minecraft project that we're working on with schools and different immersive education groups. The immersive education group itself, you can get to it at immersiveeducation.org, and we specialize in working with K-12 universities in bringing in some of the things you see populating on the screen there, notably virtual reality hardware, things like the Samsung Gear, the Google Cardboard VR, augmented reality, things like Microsoft HoloLens, not available yet, and then into things that are available in terms of environments like Minecraft, Open Simulator, Second Life, and things that will come after. One of the things we've got a lot of traction with is students using things like Minecraft to do what we call self-learning. They're able to do a lot of the STEM basics, but in the game of Minecraft. We also focus on things like Tinkercad for 3D modeling, Scratch from MIT for coding and making your own games. And so some of the pictures you see here, these are from our immersive education summits, where we invite people from industry, from places like MIT Media Lab, Microsoft, and we focus on best practices, what people are working on, projects and progress, and things we want to have participation in. The Immersive Education Group is open, it's public. You go to immersiveeducation.org. We highly encourage you to jump in and see what's going on. So the things on the screen there, those are examples of at the Immersive Education Summits we have across the U.S. and other places. Those are the kind of things that we have people demonstrate. So in particular, this Minecraft project, we have a collaboration going on with a school in Colorado, the United States Department of the Interior, as well as the National Park Service. And the idea is to pick on the Santa Fe Trail a set of assets that you might want to visit and have those students build those assets out. They're really familiar with Minecraft. They can tell you more about it than you can tell them about Minecraft as well.
10 students in La Junta are working on a project to virtually recreate Bent's old fort, making the historic site accessible from anywhere in the world.
News 5, Jesse Mitchell just got back from Otero County. So Jesse, the students are using a video game here to get this project started?
Yes, Rob and Lisa, the high school and college students are using Minecraft right now. Eventually they'll graduate to more engineering-based software, but they say the STEM project is both fun and educational for everyone involved.
Well, as far as history and technology, I mean, this is the perfect program to be in.
About 20 students from La Junta High School and Otero Junior College meet in this classroom every Wednesday afternoon. They hope to successfully build a 3D online version of Bent's old fort, one of the most iconic and historic structures in town.
When I was little, I used to think, oh, it's just Bent's fort, it's just another fort. But then, like, as I've gone over, I've realized what it really is and how, like, diverse of a history it is for this area.
That history will soon be shared with anyone, anywhere around the globe to see the old Santa Fe Trail trading post for themselves.
The fact that somebody in Japan or something can take a virtual tour of Bent's fort is just incredible.
Right now, the Immersive Education Club is just in the early stages, letting the students familiarize themselves with online building through Minecraft.
And you didn't tell us that we were going to be playing games. We were just going to do the engineering part of it. But I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. And we showed up, and they're like, you're going to do it with Minecraft. And we're like, oh, that's awesome.
After building the fort in Minecraft, the students will graduate to architectural software AutoCAD. The National Park Service, which keeps up the fort, supports the project as an opportunity for the next generation to appreciate history and reconnect with the site. Instructors add that the students' enthusiasm for STEM is refreshing.
There's going to be mathematics. When they get into AutoCAD, they'll learn basic engineering and architectural principles, as well as using technology.
Anytime you can pass on something to somebody else and just see them enjoying it and learning and growing and going beyond what you're capable of doing, that's really nice to see.
The project is expected to be complete in a couple of years. Instructors hope the students can finish the Minecraft version of the fort by the end of this semester. To learn more about the Immersive Education Club, head to KOAA.com. Live in Pueblo, Jesse Mitchell, News 5.
So after this, hopefully, there's some pictures of the students and what they're creating. So the world is live right now. We don't have that live for the entirety of the National Park Service. So there we go. There's the actual fort above and their Minecraft version down below. They've recreated it one-to-one, so it's literally if the fort is so big. So that's some students working on the fort, and those are folks in Colorado. And then down bottom left-hand corner, that's a picture of the actual fort. It's on the Santa Fe Trail. So the idea is, let's pick along the Santa Fe Trail other school systems that have assets and potential to do exactly the same thing and start to hook these up. So in focusing on Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas schools in the area, we're looking at doing things like this mobile STEM lab to get them prepared for that. So currently, across different schools in Kansas, we've got a program going called Minecraft Engineering and a mobile STEM lab. We're able to reach about 9,000 students today. If you see what's on the screen there, they're not necessarily building Santa Fe Trail at the moment. They're using Minecraft, using Tinkercad for 3D modeling, and they're building things with Legos so that they're kind of preparing. The idea is to connect what we're doing in Colorado with what we're doing in Kansas and Missouri. And then also, we've got classrooms in Boston building out assets for the Freedom Trail. So if you think about, the Bensel Fort on the left and on the right, things from Boston and Freedom Trail, historical assets you want them to cover in history class. Okay, we're done.
All right, thank you, Daniel. Next up, we've got Deanna.
Dan's my mentor for the Sunset Project that I'm working on to you, and you're fantastic. And everyone needs a mentor like you. I couldn't have been successful. So I'm here to talk to you about the Sunset Project. How many of you guys are, I missed the beginning, I don't know if there did the survey, but how many of you guys are teachers working with kids? How many of you guys actually are teachers working with kids? Because what we're trying to do with this project, I also was not fully, I know you told me about the self-advancing slides, but I missed all. What I'm trying to do today is get more teachers involved in the Sense Ed program. I'm a teacher from Lee Summit, and we were fortunate enough to pilot the program that Think Big started in a partnership with Cisco and the University of Missouri, University of Central Missouri in Lee Summit's Innovation Center. But what the Sense Ed project does is it gets kids to create Internet of Things innovations for our smart city here in Kansas City. So students brainstorm problems, opportunities for improvement that they see in their own lives, in their schools, in their communities, and they're real problems that they're actually experiencing. And then they use Raspberry Pi microcomputers, Grove Pi sensors, which are super easy to use, already existing Python programs, also super easy to use. I didn't know anything about Python when I got started, and it was incredibly successful. And then data rooms on the internet called Thailand, and then GitHub, which I also didn't know how to use when I started, but with great mentors, we can get through this. And students use these things to create Internet of Things innovations. So they look at the problems that they have in their own lives and anything that they can see as an idea for developing for the smart city, and they actually make working prototypes using this technology by the end of the program, and they present it at Demo Day, which we had at Think Big headquarters. And so they're presenting to tech leaders and business leaders, and it's a huge deal. Like, this is real learning for the kids. I have students that never knew that they were interested in computer science, that now that's what they want to do. They're going on to take Intro to Computer Science next year for the programs that we have at school. So what you're seeing behind me is some of their innovations. The winning team, they all had allergies. So they came up with an allergy alert system that, well, the winning team for middle school, they all had allergies. So they came up with an allergy alert system that used the Raspberry Pi microcomputer and the Grove Pi sensors that could detect possible allergen conditions like moisture, humidity, dust, in ventilation systems, and then it was internet connected, so it wrote that data to Thailand, and that would be monitored. A series of those would be monitored to alert of any compromises in the ventilation system. There was also a high school division. This team behind me was concerned about air quality. So they saw the big line, the parent pickup line. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with those at schools. They're nightmares. But they were concerned about parents idling, so they created a system that had an air quality sensor, and then it wrote the data to Thailand with a GPS, so you could see, like in a smart city, where the pollution problems were, but it also had a little screen that alerted the parents when the pollution was high, and it said, stop idling when the pollution is high. This little team behind me wanted their coffee brewed automatically when they moved their slippers to get up, so they moved the slippers, and the Raspberry Pi sent that data to Thailand, and then another Raspberry Pi controls the on and off of a brewer for, like, I think it was a Keurig, but, so what the kids are really passionate about, or the kids are really passionate about their ideas, and as we develop it this coming year, I know Joe Mullins at UCM is looking at working on the entrepreneur side. We focus mostly on the tech side and getting the innovation started this year, getting the working prototype started, but now it's about developing their business plans because they are little entrepreneurs. They're super cute, but they're super passionate too, and they want to see their idea be made real. What's fortunate is schools are like little living labs. The way that Kansas City is a living lab where you can test out innovations, schools are that way too. They're like tiny little cities with a lot of the, like in a way, a lot of the infrastructure that you see in a real city. So there's a perfect place for student innovation. And students, as opposed to, I know, me as an adult or a lot of adults, we think of why we can't do an idea when that idea pops in our head and then that idea is gone. Students don't do that. Middle school and high school students, they're incredibly innovative and they just think of like the idea that they want to do instead of thinking of why they can't do it. So middle school and high school students is who this program is designed for. And we're having a workshop for teachers. We're having a workshop for teachers at the end of July. Joe Mullins at UCM is the contact person. If you're interested and you're in the area, we're making it region-wide right now, and then hopefully for the future even further. It should be posted on the UCM site, the workshop at the end of this month, or you can talk to me afterwards if you're interested in getting your school involved.
Alright, hello everyone. My name is Clarence. I am the co-founder of Coda. We're a technology startup here in Kansas City. Part of my responsibility and my role and expertise is to make things fun, and that's exactly what we do. We developed a 3D video game that delivers lessons, assessments through a video game platform. I'm going to talk to you in the next few minutes about the challenges that we tackle with our software, and wait for the slide to skip. Alright, so there are a couple problems in the educational space. For students, it's high disengagement. About 40 to 45% of students are engaged in the classroom, and that's because the one-size-fits-all model in the classroom is not working. It's inefficient. A student may be lagging behind, and he would always be falling behind. A student that's doing really well would just be blocked, and in both cases, students would be disengaged, and also because the delivery of the lessons is very boring. Teachers, on the other hand, have a very heavy workload. When they're not teaching, more than half the time they spend outside the classroom is spent grading homework or sifting through miles of data to find out who the struggling students are. And because of this, interventions are usually late. I actually spent early January at FETC in Florida, and I went to SeaWorld and saw this teacher with homework on her lap, wearing a raincoat while swimming was like splashing right on top of her. It was sad and funny at the same time. But our solution is to combine a video game with a learning management system. In this simple three-step process, there's a content library, has all the lessons, questions, which are all customizable to match the teacher's classroom. We also provide them with state-of-the-art pre-built templates so they can just plug and play. And all this content goes through an adaptive algorithm that goes to the video game, to each student's account. And they play the game, they have fun, they answer questions, all those responses go to a reporting tool to where the teacher gets analytics and feedback on how each student is doing instantly. So it's fun. Alright, I think I told you to a little too much time. That's okay. Yeah, so teachers get real-time feedback the moment a student makes a response. Here's a perspective from students. Students get these 3D avatars that they can create. It's totally customizable. They can get new costumes, level up. They even have a little pet dragon, as you can see. And the key word is swag. They can, make their character look as cool as possible. And they get to do that by progressing through the game, leveling up through many mechanics that we have in the game. Here's one of them. This is fishing. So we have fishing, we have mining, we have crafting, repairing, casting stuff. Almost every single activity or activity that's fun in the video game requires students to actually answer academic questions. And if they're not doing so well, the game kind of automatically prompts the students to, hey, look at this video or this lesson that the teacher has provided. And here's another example of a fun game mechanic that we quote-unquote stole from Candy Crush. We didn't really steal it, but we incorporate a lot of popular game mechanics into the video game so that when they're out of the classroom, they would be encouraged to continue to play it. Like I said, almost every single fun activity in the game requires them to answer questions. You can see here, there's an ELA question on the bottom, there's a math question. And all these questions are tied to state standards and are adapted based on each student's individual progress. And teachers get results back on how each student is doing. You can see, Clarence 10 is not doing so well. This is just an example, because I think I'm pretty smart. And we even have an easy button for teachers to press so they can instantly see who are the ones that are struggling and who are the ones that are not. So they don't really have to meddle with the technology. So the benefits for students is obviously they're engaged, they're motivated, they get to play at home and they get to spend more time practicing, and when they practice more, ideally they would have better academic performance. And for teachers, they would be more informed and they would have less work because they don't have to sit through miles of data anymore. So coming up, we are currently doing pilot tests in public schools, but why I would really like to talk to every one of you here is we're giving free trials to pretty much any school, 3rd to 6th grade ELA and math, coming September 1st. So if you're a teacher or if you would like, someone who would like to try it out, please get my card. The contact information is here. I can give you a business card as well. Thanks.
We've got Bryce up next. I didn't do this intentionally, but I realize now that there's back-to-back gamification things going on. So.
All right, and thank you. And I've been able to collaborate recently with the last one, Clarence, and he has an absolutely amazing product I absolutely love. So I'm a teacher. Just rushed over here. We're done this Friday, which is fantastic. So I'm going to talk to you about Gamified physics curriculum and what I've explored this year. So the first day my students enter my classroom, they are instantly immersed in a mission to Mars, where their roles are transformed from students into mission specialists, assignments into real-world challenges, and tests transformed into simulations, all incorporating a fluid and dynamic and actually fun curriculum. So every day my students enter our virtual world, which is our learning management system, marsclassroom.com. This virtual world houses everything that a teacher usually has in a course. We have our logins, custom profiles, we have our assignments, tests, quizzes, an exchange of forum so they can speak with each other as well. Everything they do on the site is tracked and monitored by me, which is fantastic. Through this platform, certain game mechanics are layered onto this to help motivate my students to push through the curriculum throughout the year. So they may earn things like experience as they progress through the game, cubits or gold, to purchase things like hall passes or writing utensils, or even like praise emails. So all of this is what I focused on this past year as I transformed myself from a teacher into a game maker, all while incorporating structural and contextual gamification into my curriculum. So what first inspired me to get into this was a video I saw online where subway workers wanted to reduce traffic congestion of people exiting during peak times of the train station. Far too many people use the escalator. So what they did is added piano keys which made noise every time people stepped on. So they were able to motivate people to change what they normally don't like to do, just by adding some simple thing like low noise and low activity. And this was inspirational to me as a teacher and super powerful. So as I started to research this more last summer, I started to realize that credit card companies and airline points have been doing this for decades now. They have a points and reward structure. Also, most recently, wearable technology like Fitbit and Nike Plus that gamify their platforms and motivate people to do things they don't normally want to do. So I was really excited about this, and I wanted to start pulling all these game elements into my course. But then I took a step back and realized, hey, I really got to focus at the heart of the issue, motivation. That's what Clarence talked about just a moment ago. So motivation, I wanted to strive for intrinsic motivation instead of extrinsic motivation because I knew it would be a really long year and I want my students to really push through all this work. So this is a deeper kind of motivation. And so what I did, I added 3 little elements to my course: purpose, autonomy, and mastery. So my purpose was my storyline. I added a storyline, Mission to Mars, and a fictional character, mission specialist, Krista, which gives us updates. I aligned all of our assignments and tests to the storyline, so it evolved with them, and so it had a lot of extra meaning. Also, I added autonomy to my course, so kids can go at their own pace, fast or slow, and also based on their skill level. So they had a lot of choice in my class as they pushed on through our physics concepts. And finally, the third element of intrinsic motivation I added was mastery. And mastery is a really important aspect to me because similar to a game where you must defeat a boss before moving on to the next level, I want the same thing in my classroom. So they must defeat the content, or they must defeat the standard before actually moving on, which shows them what success looks like, and we help avoid some learning gaps. So we, right now, are at a pretty amazing time technology-wise. Teachers can actually get their own servers, and they can build their own website through their own technologists, and create things that they've always dreamed of wanting to create an environment that I was able to do this year. Students this year, they absolutely loved it. My traditionally low-achieving students have been more engaged than ever, participating more in classes. My high-achieving kids, which always are rock stars, are being more challenged than ever before. They've even been asking me for extra work and even homework, which is so confusing as a teacher to have a student ask for homework. Conversations are changing in the groups I've been getting into as I collaborate with different teachers. We're talking about motivation, game design, psychology, and all these conversations transcend all grade levels and all subject levels. So a high school teacher can collaborate with an elementary school teacher and can be mutually beneficial. I don't know what slide that is.
I added a picture, you didn't have it.
Oh, okay, I wanted to, okay, well. Okay, well, I assume as more teachers start to pick this up and more research starts to come out about game design in education, I have a feeling that this may be an essential tool in every teacher's tool chest. So then someday we can finally get our students to take the stairs we've always wanted them to take instead of that escalator, so they can win at the game that we call school. Thank you.
Thank you, Bryce. That's great. John and Richard, I think we got a collaboration here. They're actually going to show you a video rather than talk. So I'm going to unplug and let them plug in. It's a collaboration between Lumen Touch and Psytech.
Good afternoon, everybody. While Richard's loading up, what we're going to do is actually show the technology and utilize the technology that we're promoting. We think that this is state-of-the-art technology, both collaboration with Lumen Touch and with Psytech. So better roll, Richard.
This is the chameleon spatula. This is the transporter. Then we put into one has connected to the top floor and the other one attaches to the bottom floor, which is the animal section.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure for me to be here today to present to you the future CEOs of the Connected Gigabit City. So our challenge is, how do we educate our children to take their place in the economies of the 21st century? Essentially what we have to do is really design a new education system. What we're talking about here is, how do we go from the old to the new? That is the big challenge that everybody is facing today, and we're going to show you how. So our question is, what is a gigabit or a connected city? Is this an eco-city? Is this a geographic or a technology-connected eco-city? How is the eco-city soft-wired? In this eco-city, do boundary partners have clusters of expertise? And within this eco-city, what is the purpose? To enable lifelong learning? Absolutely. We would like to propose to you today that Kansas City has all of the ingredients to create super schools that no other city or eco-city has. We can become the poster child for the nation. A personalized learning plan for life, a project-based engaged learning environment, super schools that are connected with no constraints. This is how we look at a gigabit connected eco-city. Kansas City, you have it all. Imagine a personalized learning plan for life. Here is a student that has a full e-portfolio that addresses everything from letters of recommendation to volunteer services to leadership roles and project work within the community. Imagine empowerment, a personalized learning plan for life where the student manages their own goals on a day-to-day basis and holds themselves accountable. Imagine a personalized learning plan with instant feedback where the student can see at any time what their community hours are, what their grade ranking is, what their project engagement activity is, and what their personal scores are on each of the topics and subjects that they are taking. Imagine that you have instant feedback and a one enterprise software system. Touch brings this full enterprise system to the table that manages everything that you would like to manage within a school district. Personalized data, individual study plans, special needs requirements, electronic health records. This allows for curriculum anytime and learning anywhere. For all of that software system to be operational, one needs the hardware and the storage system. So here you have a full security-based internet, web-based system where all of the data is stored in a very secure environment which accounts for anything that requires redundancy. And this includes any disaster management plan. So having these two important components in place, your database system, your software platform, one can now connect to all of the hardware to these different school districts and allow the students to connect with parents, connect with mentors, administrators, and teachers in a very connected eco-city. This is not a geographic city, but a connected city. So imagine a virtually connected community with super schools to create this eco-city. To be able to do that, I have to introduce you to SciTech, which is the most modern, interactive, integrated learning management system that is going to redefine the way we are teaching and delivering education to the future. Everything from distance collaboration to remote student evaluation to classroom evaluation is really part of this extremely progressive platform. Here are some examples of how the platform works. In this particular situation, two of us are in one location, this person is in a different location, and we're working on the same model. In this particular example, we have this person in one location, all of us in the audience at a different location, working on a 3D example of the same model and being able to teach that out to the audience that is watching us present. And what we'd like to do is, first of all, thank you very much for listening to us today and hearing what Touch and SciTech can bring to you. We are now going to show you some examples of the SciTech technology and exactly how that works in the real world.
The technology that SciTech brings to us beyond just being able to unite these families with their providers over distance, is we can increase the quality of the appointment through these educational tools that SiteDeck provides that we don't even have the capability of presenting in a traditional in-person visit.
Awesome. Okay, well then I won't push that. Thank you all for being creative with your platforms, with your 5 minutes. That was really fabulous to see. And the teachers have a lot of energy. You can see what they do well in the classroom. So thank you all for presenting.
Yeah, big round of applause actually for all of our educators. And I just want to, Leanne's going to come up and say a couple words. I have a couple things I want to say and some housekeeping. The work that we do in this space of education innovation it's a shared work and it's a shared vision. The potential of gigabit infrastructure to impact teaching and learning exists in this room, and that's really exciting. It's a collective effort, and we need to continue to work at it together. As I think Richard said earlier, and Leanne said just a few minutes ago, we all win when we're all in. So let's continue to do this together. Logistical notes on that note of doing work together tonight, Mozilla Meetup, focus on education at the new EduHub co-working spaces, and an awesome space, a collective of education organizations that are sharing their working space around the mission of innovation. We invite you to join us there at 6:30 this evening. You'll have a chance to catch up with a lot of the speakers that are here. We're going to be recognizing actually the first recipients of 2016 for our Mozilla Gigabit community funding. And you'll get to hear from a local founder of a private fiber network for schools, as well as someone from Chattanooga that is working on their innovation center there in Chattanooga. And we have a new Mozilla box that will be showing off that has been designed by a local student at Valley Tech, so that'll be fun. You'll want to come and see that for sure. If you have great ideas for leveraging technology for learning, Mozilla has another round of funding coming up for the Gigabit Community Fund. The deadline is October 18th. The requirement is that projects have to take place in Kansas City, in Chattanooga, or in our newest Gigabit city, Austin, Texas. So we'd love to hear from all of you on that if you have ideas. I've got a while to plan and pull things together, October 18th. And with Kansas City being one of the LRNG cities of learning, we all have some work to do this summer to help make sure that that's a success here in Kansas City. Please, if you don't already, follow the KC Social Innovation Center to find out how you can get involved. It's an all-hands-on-deck approach, I think, this summer as we build a pipeline of learning opportunities for kids all over the city to plug into. So please make sure that that's on your radar and feed into that as you can. So with that, I'm going to hand off to Leanne to wrap it up.
Thank you. And you're going to dare to give me a mic. So the closing comments of the day, I've got my computer screen here because I want to actually share some data with you that I hope will help drive this home and again, to kick it up that notch. Obviously today, we've all been able to recognize that economic development and education, recognized as vital to economic development, education rarely makes the cut as a top priority for those governments responsible for guiding innovation. In fact, according to a 2015 Digital Cities survey conducted by Republic Center for Digital Government, that list includes, number 1, the cities are most concerned with cybersecurity. Number 2, open government, open data. Number 3, mobility. Number 4, IT staffing, that pipeline. And number 5, e-government. So, can we really have any of those things that are the top priorities for the cities without having an infrastructure of great schools that are going to prepare that? And I think I challenged a little bit earlier today Rather than thinking about 20th century education, we have got to move to thinking about 21st century preparation. And it starts with all of you in this room. I want to say to you that I appreciate very much that you are lifelong learners. You've taken the opportunity to invest in yourself today by being here, knowing that that's the way that you're actually going to be able to better yourself and to better your investment that you can make in others, folks. And that's the only way that it's going to happen. Richard talked a little bit about personalized learning. And I look around the room and I see many of you that I've crossed paths with in careers, and knowing that that personalized learning, that preparation, it occurs in school, it occurs out of school, it occurs with your nieces and your nephews, your children and your grandchildren. But also you probably need to be a torchbearer. You need to be one who trumpets this in our community and brings that home so that others get excited. We started a little bit about today about this being about realizing the American dream. And we're hearing a whole lot on the stump about what that American dream is. And quite frankly, I'm not sure about you, but I hear what the pain points are around our not being able to achieve that. And what I know is, I'm pretty sure government is not going to get us there, folks. Philanthropy is not going to get us there either. It's going to be us as individuals that take up this torch to be about 21st century preparation. And going back to what those new ABCs are, it's about abilities, it's about beliefs and mindsets, and it's about connections that we have. So you had a great opportunity today to connect with folks. I hope you'll continue that as you go on to the next place. Also in that personalized learning space today, Richard talked about pace. We need to adjust the pace. Those of you who are in education, we've said for a long time, learning is the constant, time is the variable. Secondly, we've got to adjust the path. The pathway to preparation in the 21st century, folks, it's different, right? It's different now. Bryce at Winnetonka, all across Lee Summit, it doesn't matter where we are, that preparation, that pathway, it's different. So we've got to adjust the pace. We've got to adjust the path. And something that teachers have known forever is that it has to be engaging for those students because it has to be based on their experiences and their interests. Many of you in this room, I've watched you teach. I know who you are. I know what you do. I know that's the space in which you live. Be a torchbearer to help others understand the importance of that in the 21st century. Thanks for being here today. Yeah, that's a wrap. Thanks, everybody. And we made you out, and we got you out early. Hey!
That's good. I haven't seen you in a second.
I will. I'm in no hurry, but thank you.
I was in the superintendent in the district.